Alright, day 2. My dulcimer restoration. So I went ahead and I shined this up. Actually, it doesn't look as marked up off camera as it does on, I guess because it's so shiny and the light's on it. But yeah, this was all oxidized and really bad. I just used a little bit of cooking oil, then some really soapy water and an SOS pad very, very lightly. As long as you keep those things oily and wet and soapy, they won't scratch and they won't, get rid of that chrome and bring it down to brass. So there's one thing I mentioned in the last video that I was going to do with this, but now it looks really great on the guitar. It looks really great. I mean, I still haven't refinished the top or anything yet. So another thing I worked on, I'm going to go through some of the things we went through in the last video. Right here, this neck was full of cracks, this beautiful ebony neck. Rather than rip it off, I just, I got the neck set back onto the body where I want it. I fixed the seams that were open on the bottom. Right now I have something else setting up so I can't move it. Plus some of this is still kind of drying at the back. But so how I did this, yeah, lots of people do it. Like, they'll sand it, they'll get a little of that dust, stick it in the cracks, put some super glue over it, sand it again, maybe do that twice and it'll come out. What I actually did was use these repair sticks. Yeah, they're a little different from crayons, trust me. You can get sets of these at furniture stores. And you can even melt them together, little pieces, in a spoon to mix and match colors. They're wax, just like a crayon, but eventually they harden and they'll fill in cracks in furniture and things like that. So what I did was, last night before I went to bed, I shoved a lot of wax. I killed half of this one, this black ebony repair stick. And I rubbed it in there as deep as I could. And then I let it sit, did it one more time, went to bed. After I did that, what I did was I heated the wax. You can put a clothes iron over the frets here if you're careful. And that heats it, and that actually makes it like really stick down in there. But when I did it, I didn't just put the wax in the cracks, I put it over the whole fret. Like, I layered like a thick wax over here. Then this morning, I sanded it. I got a lot of that great ebony dustwood dust mixed with wax. Very clumpy, very black, and actual ebony wood inside. And then I shoved that down in the cracks one more time. So if you watched the last video, you see how these cracks look. Then I took, you don't want to use anything like gel type of super glue or anything. I just took the thin, really watery, kind of seepy, runny super glue that you really don't want to use on repairs, but great for this because it seeped right in over. And actually, this is looking very level. When I sand the super glue off, again, I'll do one more, get some of the actual ebony dust in there. That's still tacky there. And hopefully these cracks will no longer exist. A couple of little spots I can see even through the glue where I'll touch up, but it's already 100 times better than what it was. And now I don't have to replace the fretboard, which I did want it to stay ebony. So we talked about in the last video this logo. What I did, I just kind of like took down the shellac here around this because it kind of looked like a sticker, and unfortunately it's patinaed on there now. I can't really change that, but I still have to do some touch up on the lettering. Maybe when I do that I can figure out something like, like a design to go around it that will look, decent. Okay. Then I talked about these sound hole covers. I didn't like the screen that was on them, but I didn't want to change them because it might change the sound. They're original. This is what I did. So here we have two. I didn't change the screen. And right here's my case. I've got every kind of spray paint marker you could think of. You can see where I test them before I use them. Just a silver spray paint marker. And I colored over the screen. You have to be careful not to get this on the metal because it is spray paint. It'll paint metal, it'll paint wood, it'll paint anything. But just carefully around the edges, and then I filled in. Then once you fill it in, you go in one direction, then you go the other direction, then you flip it over, and you color in the entire back. That way, from every angle, you're still seeing that silver screen at the front. So now this is before and after. This is probably going to, like paint always is, you're going to need more than one coat. I can see it right now. But looks pretty cool, and I've got it against this black vinyl I used to work on a lot, so you can see. Now this is the other thing. I don't know if this was done after the original build or what, but it was soldered in this metal screen, and you can see where that's all starting to rust against the metal, which will make the metal deteriorate. Well, this is as good as Rust-Oleum. I mean, now that I've painted this one was the same way. All the rust is gone. It's just been covered and sealed, and that'll just give this another, 80 years of playing or whatever, if it's taken care of. So now I told you I didn't like the look of these before. I don't know. And I have another kind of screen. It's like, it's a sheet of metal with little holes in it rather than actually a mesh screen like this one that I thought would have looked better. But we talked about this in the last video also. So let me put them on the guitar, kind of give you an idea of what they're going to look like. And I haven't finished this wood or anything yet. I mean, we're still far from finished. This is going to look like a shiny new penny when I'm done. Or a shiny new nickel. Alright. So there's the difference. I mean, my vote here. Yeah, I mean, the black looks nice against this red mahogany color, but I don't know. I like that better. So, and then I'm going to go ahead and start coloring this one. Just going to take the spray paint marker. Ow. Hurt my teeth here because I'm holding the phone. And you don't need to shake it or anything. Go over it and go over it a couple times. And I've got every color in the world too. I mean, I even played around with maybe doing these gold, doing them bronze. I'm actually going to test a couple more colors on this one and see what happens. But right now, I'm digging the silver look. So, alright. This is a shorter video than the last one, but still a long one. I got stuff everywhere, man. I destroy my table when I do projects. Alright. Now I have a nice thick glass cover over it, and I'm very careful not to scratch it. And if I get glue or paint or anything on there, take a razor blade, scrape it off, and my table's new again. I never work on the edges of the wood here. Plus, this thing's all folded up. It opens up a lot bigger. Alright. That's where we're at with our restoration now. Remember, the bottom was all on bound. That's all bound now. I can't move it at the moment, but let me move this. I was not sure how to, get an original style peg on there. So what I did, I just took this white plastic one, And I have beautiful ones, like I have self-locking ones, everything like, but I'm not going to do that. I wanted this to look vintage. This was the most vintage strap lock I had. It's just a hard white plastic. This I'm actually going to fill in with white plastic so you don't see that that's a Phillips head. It'll look more like an original, like Martin has their built-in ones that you can't remove and something like that. It's got a little black felt pad around it, and that covers all that very large hole that was there. So that's what I did for that. So everything I talked about, how am I going to do this in the next video, I've pretty much done now. The bridge is going to be my big tackle, and then part 3 video is going to be me playing a song on this baby. And I'll explain, after it's done, how I've refinished the wood and cleaned up some of the shellac problems and other things. This looks rough to the eye, but it's actually very smooth. I'm happy with it. And that's what you want. But that shellac is cracked, and I've got tricks for that. Okay, that's part 2. Red Rudy signing out.